After finishing up my Car versus the Akatsuki video, one of my subscribers commented a very interesting topic I've seen being debated on Instagram, Comic Vine, and Reddit. That being the 5 Kage versus Boruto. This will be only using information we have up to chapter 65 in the manga. And I'm joined with, as y'all heard, a very special guest, Six.
The most special guest, not very special. The most
he's very special is a little bit winking it. But anyway, all right. We're just going to be going through all of his forms that we've seen up to chapter 65 and seeing how it would fare against the 5 Kage. I guess we can start with the 5 Kage since they don't have that many feats or statements. Their scaling is pretty straightforward.
So the 5 Kage we're talking about, just so we're clear, we're not including Naruto in this, right? We may do like a bonus round toward the end of the recording, I guess depending on how we're feeling. Maybe like Naruto gets included, but for the main part of the video, we're only talking about the 4 Kage, like Darui, Kurasuchi, Gaara, and who's the last one? I'm tweaking right now.
I don't know.
Darui.
Chojuro.
So lame.
Yeah, Chojuro. He's pretty ass.
Darui, Kurasuchi, Gaara, and Chojuro. Those are the only ones we're talking about against Boruto. So we'll just go through the forms like as they are needed, but covering the 5 Kage first is the easiest because they're only like in the first bit of the manga.
Yeah, about the first like 8 chapters. That's the only time they have feats or statements.
So we get like alongside Sasuke, the Kage can like take down Kinshiki level threats, whatever, Otsutsuki level threats. And Gaara implies later on during like a 5 Kage summit type meeting that they do on FaceTime now that an Otsutsuki type threat is like a world ending type of deal, right? Like if Momoshiki and Boruto were to become an Otsutsuki level threat, could Naruto even try to like deal with it considering Boruto's his son or whatever? So the Otsutsuki are still very much a threat to the Kage. I don't think they're like at that level yet. Like they may not be at like Kaguya or Momoshiki's level. They're just like somewhere vaguely below that due to being around Kinshiki's level. And that's only some of them. So we get like Kage like Chojuro. We know he's probably not at that level. But then like Kurasuchi, we see she probably is right around Kinshiki's tier of speed at least. And we see she can like bounce him through god trees and probably damage him with her like Gentai-jutsu.
We're not saying that Chojuro is vastly weaker than all the Kage should be kind of around the same level, but of course there's small disparities between all of the members. Like Kurasuchi and Gaara seems to be well above the likes of Chojuro and Darui, given how they fight Kinshiki and Momoshiki and how Darui is really just chasing Momo around and Chojuro almost gets killed. Right, so vaguely below Momoshiki and Kaguya, but still in that Kinshiki type tier, like 6 was saying.
You could even imply like maybe Chojuro is at Kinshiki's level and he only like took a blow to get Kinshiki open so Kurasuchi could come in and like hit him like a little combo attack maybe. But that's just like sort of an implicative argument. It's nothing like empirical, just I guess a bit rational. So you get Kurasuchi like around that level. And then me and Troy talked about this in like a recent video of mine. I don't know if it'll be out by time this one comes out, but we talk about how the Otsutsuki sort of have this leaderboard in this other dimension, right? And on the leaderboard, you can draw a few things correlatory to power. So the leaderboard itself is probably talking about power itself. So we get Ishiki at the top, which is very clear. Ishiki is the strongest Otsutsuki.
That's pretty undeniable. I don't think anyone would disagree with that one.
We get Kinshiki at the bottom, so Kinshiki's the weakest. And we get Momo and Kaguya like around the same level. That part isn't too important. The most important part is literally just that Kinshiki's at the bottom. So it means like the Kage aren't really at Momoshiki's tier yet. And it is base Momoshiki that's on the leaderboard. The horns and the way the Renegon's shown, it's just base Momoshiki.
To kind of support this even more, we see how not only is Momoshiki the one to get updated via eating Kinshiki with their like family ritual that was passed down throughout the clan, but Kinshiki's kind of just like his dog, and he just carries him around while Momo does no heavy lifting at all. He just orders Kinshiki around. It's kind of like this master and student type of relationship. Yeah, that's just to give a little more.
Momoshiki's the next generation, and Kinshiki's the previous one. And the whole thing about Boruto is the next generation will always surpass the previous one. So he takes Kinshiki's power, genetically updates himself. It's just kind of how it is. And then even before that, he should just be stronger through the whole leaderboard thing. When we talk about the Kage and we say they're below that level, Boruto, at least in base anyway, should also probably be below that level. So the thing about karma is, when you're picking a vessel for your karma, the vessel has to be weak enough for your karma to actually take it over. So we see in the karma, it's a Borokara or Boru fans if you read the English version. It's Borokara 5, we get the official translation for karma. And it says that since the Otsutsuki are so powerful and their chakra is so strong, the human body essentially can't deny the karma. So it just extracts and it eventually takes over. So from that, you can say Boruto is not as strong as 80% Momoshiki or whatever. So, you know, draw the conclusion from there. Boruto is not at Otsutsuki level yet. So you should probably be below the Kage in base anyway. When we start talking about karma, it becomes a different league.
Yeah, well, Karma 1, or what I'll be dubbing Karma 1, which is his very first transformation, you know, just the blue strips that go from his arms to his eyes. That one I would probably also agree is kind of below the Kage. He has feats on Boro, but he's still very much below Boro. It takes Boroshiki and Chidori to overpower Boro.
So if you think Boro is like Otsutsuki level because of like Kara's war potential statement where it's like predicted to be the same level as Hokage Naruto, that statement probably doesn't mean Boro's like physical body is actually at that level, because we do see base Boruto is able to damage him, and then Karma Boruto can just rip Boro's limbs off and things. So Boro's probably not that durable. He just got like this crazy regen and these viruses, right? So he can beat like,
his power opponents. His power more or less just comes in his hacks abilities. He's not a brawler type.
Yeah, exactly.
He's more of a technical fighter.
So yeah, so like Boruto and like the team beating a car member, it is treated in the narrative as sort of like a great feat by Shikamaru and things, because he's like telling Naruto after they rescue him, like, yeah, they even took down a car member, all that, they rescued you. So it is a good feat. That's not what we're saying at all. We're just saying it's not indicative of like them being at an Otsutsuki tier. It's just that they beat a car member. That's really it. Like if Delta was there, they all would have just lost.
Or it would have got slammed horribly. It wouldn't have been even a contest. I don't even think they would have got a hit.
I honestly want to say even Koji as well. Like Koji, Code, Delta, any of them, they probably could have beaten all the Team 7.
The outcome of this battle really starts to change when we get introduced to Boruto's horn form, or what I'll be dubbing Boroshiki, within this video. Because with just a little bit of Kurama chakra, I think it's just from a collapsed Naruto. They freshly just freed him from the Jigen sealing jutsu. He's able to completely obliterate Boro. Even some of the Kara inner members think Sasuke couldn't replicate this feat. Now, of course, I'm not trying to claim no chakra Boroshiki is over full power Sasuke, but them thinking this whatsoever is just a testament to his true power, because this was only with a little bit of chakra from Boruto.
So this Naruto is the weakest form of Boroshiki we ever see. We get to see a stronger form of Boroshiki later, with like 80% extracted or after the Ishiki fight, that literally says he like can't really contend with 1MS Sasuke. Like Sasuke would like beat him up or something like that. So,
yeah, it's like he can't leave the battle unscathed. And this 1MS Sasuke is also heavily fatigued. Yeah. Freshly stabbed out Rinnegan, and he's been hit with the Vanishing Rasengan and beat up by Ichiki. So this should be far below.
The reason that doesn't put Boroshiki at like the Kage's tier is because even though the Kage are like weaker than Sasuke overall, when Sasuke doesn't have his Sharingan out and just his Rinnegan, he can get like pressed by Kinshiki, right? But then when you turn the Sharingan on, obviously he's just much stronger, whatever. So like it would mean that Boroshiki at that point is still weaker than the Kage. The point where it really starts to change, and then I even want to comment on base Boruto a little bit here to like kind of just put this idea into people's heads. The last time Momoshiki comes out, or not even when Momoshiki comes out, when Boruto is like controlling his karma form and he can be like stronger than Code. If you think that Momo is in Boruto's body with just his base form power and he can get stronger than Code, and maybe you think like Code stronger than Delta or something like that, you could say base Boruto is really powerful, because then that would mean that base Boruto amps Momo more at 80% than Kinshiki did to Momo at 100% and with the genetic update. So then you could say like Boruto is stronger than Kinshiki, and then maybe if you go like that line of thinking, you could say base Boruto would beat up the 4 Kage or whatever. But you can get into the stronger Boroshiki.
Yeah. When Boroshiki appears again in chapter 65, not only does Momo now have access to 100% of Boruto's chakra, whether the amp is multiplicative or additive, it really doesn't matter. It's just a huge boost in power. Now, I think Momoshiki is using his Rinnegan ability, the ability that amplifies techniques 3 times or 4 times over. It's stated back in the tuning exams. I think he's using that to change the shape and power of his Rasengans, and that is why his Rasengan can like blow away Code and shock Naruto and all of that. If you don't think that, that's cool, but that's just my own kind of interpretation of the scenes. But regardless, him using that Boruto completely overpowers Code to the point where it's like no competition at all. It actually, after he dominates Code, it takes Naruto and Shikamaru. Shikamaru telling Naruto he'll have to get serious or he'll die. This isn't nerf Naruto, but this nerf Naruto still is kind of hyped up to be the strongest in this village, and alongside Sasuke and Shikamaru, still be the strongest of the Kage. So it's still a big feat in and of itself.
So if we do like a bonus round with Naruto, if it's the current Naruto, like the weakened Naruto, he gets destroyed by full power Boroshiki. Like that's even implied in the latest chapter with like Kawaki saving him and all that. That like a Boroshiki Rasengan was just gonna destroy Naruto. And then we get like the implication from Amato that weakened Naruto is kind of probably gonna lose to Code. And Ida even says to Code, like, you're not gonna last long against someone as strong as Boroshiki, so you should probably just get out of there. If you think Code is stronger than Delta and like stronger than 6-Pass Sage Mode Naruto, then I guess the outcome wouldn't change either. But we kind of don't think that. Don't want to get too far into it, but we kind of don't think Code is stronger than them. So,
but I think the most clear cut one is Baryon mode. He's just the top of what we've seen in Boruto thus far. He probably just literally one-shots Boroshiki. I don't even think that's debatable whatsoever. Even Sasuke, wherever we do the Naruto, excluding Baryon mode, Sasuke would do the same. So yeah. Oh yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with any takes in this video, feel free to say it within the comments. Give ideas for videos, like the guy who gave the idea for this video. Check out Six. He's a really good YouTuber, you know. Makes some really good content. Very, very similar to mine.